Hello, it's Adedoyin Jaiyesimi here, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today, I'm going to share with you some quick tips on how you can become more versatile in your career as a communications professional. As always, I'm going to be sharing with you from my own personal journey, things that have worked for me, things that I've observed, and I hope that you can use that to not only improve yourself, but also to increase your earning potential, because I've realized that the more versatile you are, the more it is that you're able to command a bigger remuneration. If you read the African PR and communications report that was released this year, the remuneration that comms and PR people get or receive, it is abysmally low. And I hope I'm using that word correctly, but it is really, really low. I see some JDs, they're asking for 15 years working experience, sometimes 10 years working experience. And then you see the amount they want to pay the person per year, per month, and you're like, how is this even possible? But I also think that us being versatile, us being able to diversify our skills even within comms and PR can help us to increase our earning potential, can help us to land projects, clients, organizations that can have the bandwidth to pay us what we are worth. So I'm going to just share with you, and I hope that, as always, you find this useful for your own journey. And yeah, I have a special surprise at the end of the video for those of you in Lagos and Abuja, so you definitely want to watch this video till the end. So the first thing that I would say is that being versatile really requires you to be able to use your skills as a communications and PR professional in multiple settings. So people that started off their career in agencies, they find that they're able to adapt very, very quickly. But even if you started working in-house, you can always do that. You can always learn. And it's just that curiosity. It's you immersing yourself in different places, in different environments, learning. I have a thirst for knowledge. I love to read. I love to learn new things. I love to listen to people talk about themselves and their work. So one thing I'm going to recommend to you is that make sure that you are broadening your frame of reference, you're broadening your perspective, you're broadening your understanding of different industries. Even if you may feel like, oh, I am not interested in this industry, but understand the industry, because it would actually do you some good. So for example, you can learn about the real estate industry, you can learn about the energy space, and if you've read my blog post about the specialist opportunities that are opening up, you can start doing some research in those areas. Go for conferences, connect with people, thought leaders, read books. I love reading books, and I find that I learn best when I read. So I have a lot of books, and I don't just put my focus on reading comms related books. I read autobiographies, I read business books, I read different kinds of books. So you want to be able to understand the nuance of different industries, and it doesn't have to be everything, because you don't even have all the time in the world to do this. But my point is, you can choose about 2 or 3 industries and say, this industry seems to be up and coming. This industry, a lot seems to be happening. This industry may seem like it may be interesting to me, because you may find out that, this whole sustainability, climate change thing is not your cup of tea, and that's okay. But at least be able to function in that space, because when they're looking for people and professionals who can do certain things, your understanding is going to give you an advantage. So broaden your frame of reference. Don't just be, if you're working in a bank currently, don't just be all about financial communications. Connect with other colleagues, and this is my second point as well. Connect with other colleagues that are working in different areas, and just talk to them about what they're working on. I find that people like to talk about what they're working on and what they do. So it just helps me to see like, this is how you're applying the comms principles. This is how you're thinking or you're ideating, and that also really stretches your mind as well, because a key part of what we do as comms professionals is being creative, and creativity, inspiration, it's everywhere. So find colleagues that are working in other industries, other sectors, within your country and even outside of your country, and speak to them and say, what are you working on? I saw a campaign that you just did in your company. How did that go? I recently had a conversation with a friend of mine that did a very fantastic campaign, and I asked her to talk me through, how did you go about it? What were the challenges you faced? And while I don't think that I will replicate exactly that same campaign, the lessons learned that she shared with me will definitely come in handy in my career, and I've kept it. I don't know know, when it's going to be useful. So think about how you can read up about other industries, connect with colleagues. And if you are there and you're saying, Adedoyin, I don't know how to connect with colleagues in other industries, be a part of the Comms Avenue. We have communications professionals across the continent that work in different industries, different sectors, that you can just have one-on-one conversations with, learn what they're doing. Then you read books. I also find conferences to be very, very enlightening. So I go for conferences where I can learn about different things. I can learn about finance. I can learn about real estate. So my previous video, for example, I was talking to you about how to manage comms and social media for conferences, but try and attend conferences as a guest, not as the one handling it. And please be willing to pay to attend certain conferences. Stretch yourself. Yes, I know some of these things can be costly, but it's good for your career. They give you networking opportunities. You also learn something new. Like I said, the last conference that I went for, I saw opportunities just from the conversations that they were having. I saw multiple opportunities, and the contacts that I was able to meet. By the time I went there, somebody identified a problem and like, oh, this is what I do. I know the person is like, wow, we should connect, and we connected after the conference. I'm having multiple conversations. I don't know where they would lead to, but at least I was there. I listened. I saw where I could add value, and then I networked and engaged from that standpoint of the value that I could add. If you're just sitting in your house, going from your house to your office, going to, maybe to church and back, how are you going to meet all of these people? So try and stretch yourself a bit. This end of year, there are a lot of conferences happening. If you're interested in climate change, there are a lot of climate change conferences happening. Some might require you to travel outside of your country. Stretch yourself and do it. Like, your professional self will be thankful, and it really does help you to be versatile. The next thing I would say about being versatile as a communications professional is you need to put yourself forward for opportunities, even opportunities that you may not feel like you're totally qualified or equipped to do. And this is what I mean. So I was speaking to a community member over the weekend, and she was telling me how she attended a conference. So before the conference, she had called me to say, oh, Ade, I'm going for this conference. I need networking tips. We've been working remotely for a few years now. And, so I kind of had a conversation with her, just like, look, be confident, do this and do that. And thankfully, she had such a fantastic time. But what she shared with me in the conversation that was really, really interesting was, so there was a session where the moderator couldn't make it, and very last minute, they told her to do the moderation. And she was able to step up to the plate. Not only did she moderate one conversation, she moderated two conversations on a platform that was, let's just call it global, and that was absolutely fantastic. You have no idea what opportunities like that can do for your career. And she could have said, oh, I'm not good enough, oh, I'm not ready, I'm not this. But the thing is that as long as you work in comms, you know how to articulate a message. And if you have issues with public speaking, because you can be introverted, that's fine, but you should not be shy. Being introverted does not mean that you cannot speak in public. And if you struggle with speaking in public, please do something about it, because being a communicator means being able to engage with multiple stakeholders, being able to convey a compelling message. So you can't be the team hiding behind the scenes all the days of my career. So take advantage of opportunities that would help you stretch yourself, because it really does help. A lot of the things that I'm doing now, me having this YouTube channel to teach, me speaking on platforms, me moderating in conferences, it all came from me just stretching myself and saying yes to certain opportunities. And that's how you become versatile. And some people are like, oh, what if I make a mistake? What if I fail? That's a risk in life in general. But the truth is that if you don't take advantage of these opportunities, if you don't put yourself forward, the truth is that you're never going to learn. So imagine you don't even have great public speaking skills. How are you going to improve your public speaking skills if you don't speak in public? It's just like when I used to coach people to write, and I would say to them, you have to write to get better. So you write, you see the mistakes, you improve, you write, and you get better. I look at some of the things I wrote 10 years ago, I'm like, is it me that wrote it? But if I didn't write 10 years ago and continue to write consistently, I won't be the writer that I am today. So you need to be able to put yourself forward, and don't let imposter syndrome. I think I have a video on YouTube about imposter syndrome. Don't let it hinder you and hinder your career. You being versatile sometimes will require you to just jump into opportunities that rise up at any time, and you must be able to take advantage of them. See it as a learning curve, see it as an opportunity to stretch. And for me, most importantly, is that by showing up in in that way, you have no idea where that will lead you. You have no idea who is watching. You have no idea what opportunity will come your way. I remember a former colleague of mine many years ago, she went to handle PR for a conference, and in that conference she did her work so well, and something happened and she had to step up, and someone from a financial institution, one of the leading financial institutions in Nigeria, spotted her, and she got a job on this. We literally poached her from her agency into that organization just because of her being able to seize that opportunity, doing her work well, showing up, and it was so fantastic, and she's doing so well in her career. So for those of you that say, oh, I'm job hunting, I haven't received a yes now, I always say, getting a job today is not just about you see a vacancy and you apply. Sometimes it's you just stepping up, and someone in that moment, I always call it God ordained, divinely orchestrated moment, takes notice of you and says, I like this person. I like how they did this. I like the excellence with which she has done this, and I want to work with her. So I hope that I have drum that in enough, so I won't go on and on and on about the same point, but really put yourself out for opportunities. So just as a recap, expand your frame of reference, read books, attend conferences, speak to colleagues that work in other industries and sectors. It doesn't even have to be comms professionals. You can speak to the accountant, you can speak to the salesperson. Just get an understanding about different sectors, different industries, different fields, and explore the opportunities that might open up as a result of you doing that. And then make sure that you're taking advantage of opportunities that open up, opportunities that allow you to stretch, opportunities that allow you to go beyond your regular, I'm going to work, we're creating a social media calendar, we're posting this, we're doing that. That really helps you to be versatile. But I think if I'm going to give you a final point, is that make sure you're thinking about how you can use your skills in communications to solve problems. So when things happen, news breaks or whatever it is, I'll start asking myself, if I was part of the communications team of this organization, what would I do? How would I solve this problem? How would I tackle this matter? And that helps me to really, really stretch. That helps me to become a problem solver, because at the end of the day, that's what organizations are looking for. That is the advantage that you would have, how you're using your skills to solve problems. So if you've watched my bite-sized comms course on strategic comms, I tell you about being able to solve problems, being able to know what the organization wants to achieve, and then using your skills, your tactics, your strategies to be able to help the organization to achieve that. And you can begin to practice. You don't have to wait for your organization. Maybe your organization doesn't have a problem, or maybe there are limited opportunities for you to solve problems depending on the setting. But you can, look through the news, go through LinkedIn, subscribe to newsletters and say, oh, this is happening now. If it was me, how would I handle this? What would I do differently? And can I say, please also read case studies. Go on Amex website. They have a lot of case studies. You will see how people ran certain campaigns, behavior change campaigns, things that brought profit, improved reputation for their organization. See how they did those things. Now, you may not have the opportunity to implement it where you currently are, but that knowledge helps you, because when you're then put in that position, your subconscious now runs through the files of the things you've deposited and brings it out to you to learn. So make sure that you are focused on building yourself, not just in one area, right? You're making sure that you are deep in your knowledge of communications, in your knowledge of public relations, but you also have an understanding of business. If you work in the development organization, you have an understanding of the development space as well, because that is what will make you exceptional in the work that you do. So I hope that those tips were helpful for you. As always, if you have any questions for me, feel free to drop it as a comment. Feel free to send me an email. I'll be happy to answer your questions. And please, if you're not following me on LinkedIn, make sure you're also following me, because you can also send me a DM on LinkedIn and I will answer. Now, drum roll. When I was in Ghana in July, I had a private mentorship session with some of the young professionals there, and it was fantastic. We talked about everything. We talked about career, we talked about family, we talked about faith, we talked about school, we talked about challenges. It was just essentially an opportunity for them to ask me anything, pick my brain, get my thoughts, and it was really, really good. So I'm doing the same in Lagos and in Abuja. The one in Lagos is taking place on Saturday, 30th September, and the one in October or the one in Abuja will take place in October. The date will be announced. But I'm announcing it here now so that you can get ready to register, because I'm only going to take 30 people for the Lagos edition. And I remember the one for Ghana were about 15, and some people were like, oh my god, oh my god. I was like, it's full, there's nothing I can do. So please, if this would interest you, if you want to learn from me, it's not even just about learning from me alone, it's about connecting with other professionals, because sometimes you'll find that being able to reach out to your peer does a lot for you. They're able to relate, they're able to offer you a solution that you haven't thought about, so you're able to come and meet new people. But then you also get to pick my brain for the number of hours that we will be there for. So I will be officially releasing details about the Lagos one, or the Lagos event, by next week. So please sign up. Like I said, spaces are very, very limited. And then I would also release details about the one in Abuja once it's confirmed. Now it's going to be free of charge to sign up for this event. However, there are costs incurred for this. There's cost of the venue, cost of food and drinks and all of that. I want people to have a good time. So if you would like to contribute to this hangout, should I call it a hangout? If you would like to contribute to this event in any way, supporting in getting the venue, supporting in, getting the food and drinks, or you want to even donate like corporate items and all of that, please send me an email. My email address is on the screen. Please send me an email and I would connect with you. And you can do this for either the one in Lagos or the one in Abuja. But really, the idea for me is I want to be able to share as much knowledge with as many people as possible. I want to be able to help as many professionals overcome challenges and obstacles in their work. And we're also getting into the time where you're thinking about reviewing your activities for the year, looking at how to create your strategy for next year. So I want to be able to talk about that and answer questions. I would actually do a separate YouTube video for everyone else so that you can, I can share some thoughts with you on how to go about that. But I really just want to make sure that it's a very valuable session. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited about it, and I hope you sign up. It's for young professionals. I'm going to try and cap it to maybe max 7-8 years experience, although those are not young, those are young to mid level professionals. So that everyone is kind of like in the same space and they can relate with one another. So that's my special announcement. Other cities I will announce as God gives me grace to travel around the continent to do this, but I am excited about it. Please look up for more details next week, and as always, feel free to ask me any questions, feel free to connect with me. I'm literally here to help you to make the most out of your comms career, and I'm also here to help you to succeed and excel in your role as a communications and PR professional. So thank you for watching. Bye.